something's creeping, it's right outside. So come on in, don't be shy. We've got ghosts and UFOs. Brace yourself, get ready for the show. Don't be afraid of the dark. The fun's about to start. Nightmares or tales will inspire. Oh, tonight at the Scaredy Campfire. Have you heard tell of a demon next door? Or maybe a cryptid on the lake shore? There's nothing too strange for us here. So if you're ready, stamp out your fear. Don't be afraid of the dark. The fun's about to start. Nightmares or tales will inspire. Tonight at the Scaredy Campfire. Whoa, whoa.
Welcome back, campers, to episode 20 of the Scaredy Campfires. 20 nights, 20 fires, and still the shadows never lose their hunger. Tonight, the flames flicker while the night leans closer, daring us to look deeper. The stories remind us that the unknown doesn't wait politely at the edges. It surrounds us, always there, even when we close our eyes and pretend not to see it. Some houses feel ordinary at first glance, clean walls, fresh paint, and an empty history waiting to be filled. But for Reddit user u/internationaldig149, the home they moved into came with a different kind of inheritance, a shed no one opened, a stranger's belongings left behind, and shapes that slipped through doorways without sound. Within days, the house began to blur the line between the living and the unseen, until even familiar footsteps belonged to someone or something else. My husband and I moved into a new house about a week ago. I'm going to info dump a little bit all of the odd occurrences/situations I have encountered since we closed on the house. The home was custom built by the original owner, who passed away in 2014 or 2015. An older lady, Z, had the house built. She was a great grandmother at her passing. We purchased it from an older gentleman who was moving into assisted living. Though he was still well enough to drive himself in the closing while the documents were being processed, we had the opportunity to sit and talk with him. The seller, let's call him A1, was a unique individual. He had either an unusual sense of humor or a nervous laugh. He would laugh during our conversation at really awkward and inappropriate times that just didn't make any sense to me. Truthfully, it creeped me out. He had never married or had children, but lived in a 3-bedroom house with 3 full bathrooms for over 20 years on a half-acre lot that he never utilized. A1 had a collection of sound equipment which he sold in an estate sale. I attended the sale because my daughter is learning to play piano, and there was a beautiful piano in the room that would become hers. We bought the piano and noticed that several people, some from out of the state, were urgently buying up his vintage sound equipment. I mentioned the crowd to A1 at closing and asked if he was a sound engineer. He told me he was a computer scientist and that sound was just a hobby. I asked how sound was a hobby, and he said he liked to complete jigsaw puzzles while listening to music. That didn't quite line up, considering he had professional recording equipment, speakers over 5 feet tall, instruments, and microphones. I figured he just didn't want to get into the details. Fair enough, I was only curious. A1 sold us the house, which was already priced extremely competitively for even less than asking. It was in pristine condition, but came with a few oddities: a shed in the backyard that he claimed he had never opened, a brand new oven that appeared unusual, an original 1986 microwave, and a dishwasher that he also said he'd never used, and a collection of personal records, family photos, and death certificates, presumably of relatives, that he left behind in old zipper-topped bank bags. He was an unusual person. A few nights ago, my 14-year-old daughter and I were in the hallway and saw my husband walk into our bedroom. I followed him because I had a question, and my daughter followed me. We watched him enter the primary bathroom. I called out to ask my question, but he didn't respond. When I walked into the bathroom, it was empty. I turned to my daughter and asked if she had also seen him go in, and she confirmed that she had. That's why she followed me. We searched the house and eventually found him in the basement doing laundry. Today, while I was at work, my daughter said our old dog was barking at what seemed to be nothing. This is unusual behavior for her. She's been trained to protect us and doesn't typically bark without a reason. The dog was visibly upset. I'm not sure what to make of it all. I don't know if any of this is related, but I also saw a full-on person standing in our stairwell. When I looked away and turned back, they were gone. My daughter shared a similar experience. These people who weren't found anywhere in the house. I have no idea what this means, but my family and I are so freaked out, we have called a local priest to come and bless the house. I have no idea if I should share what we have seen with the priest. I have no idea what we have seen. I have no idea how to handle this or what it could mean. We are all unsettled, to say the least. Even the dog is concerned. What is going on? Yesterday, 7/24/25, my daughter and I were planning to paint on some canvases and watch TV in the living room in our basement. As we have just moved, we were looking for the canvases that we had purchased for her to use before we had left our previous residence. I had stepped into the garage to sort through some boxes to try and find them. Unbeknownst to me, she was following me downstairs while I was in the garage searching through boxes. She said she saw me heading down the stairs and assumed I had found the canvases and that we were ready to paint, so she followed me. Our stairs are split. There are about 8 stairs down to the landing. Then the stairs switch direction for another 8 steps to the basement. But as she reached the landing on the stairs, she said I disappeared in the middle of the second flight of stairs. To this day, the Reddit user and their family are left with more questions than answers. Who walks the halls when no one is there? What presence lingers on the stairs, vanishing halfway down? Is it memory, trick of the mind, or something bound to the property itself? The dog growls at empty corners, the eyes catch figures where no one stands, and the house waits, silent, watching for its next witness. Some houses hold memories, others hold something else entirely. For Reddit user u/tradition, downtown 3:30, moving back into their childhood home should have been a return to comfort, a chance to fill familiar rooms with new life. Instead, it became a slow unraveling. Pets died without cause, shapes appeared where no one should be, and a silent figure lingered just beyond the windows. What began as nostalgia turned into something far darker as the house began to show them what it had kept hidden for decades. So I, 46 male, grew up and have lived in my family home for about 40 years of my life. I was born in India and have very Indian parents who kept the house very nice for its long life. My mum recently died about 10 months ago, and my dad went to go with my sister, 42 female, and her husband. Now I, my wife, 47 female, and my two kids, 16 female and 17 female, have moved into my childhood home after selling our old house. We were comfortable for only 2 months before strange things started happening. My youngest has 2 goldfish, who are young to my understanding, that died suddenly one night. My daughter has always been diligent about changing the water, cleaning the tank, and making sure the water is at its right temperature, but I just chalked it up as bad luck. Only a week later, the neighborhood cat passed away on our property, not only a few feet from my youngest's windows. The cat was old and probably died of natural causes, but it still disconcerted us enough to get a little suspicious. My wife also started complaining about hearing scratches on the walls. I personally had never heard it, but I called my friend to check it out to make sure that there wasn't an animal living in our walls. We had a short break for about a month, but after that, it was worse than ever. My oldest daughter came to me and talked to me about seeing an old man in our backyard. This seriously concerned me, and I considered calling the police, but every time I would look, a second time he is gone. He never looks, but just stays still faced away from the window, and it just seems to be staring at the fence. I have wanted to get a picture of him, but I have been unsuccessful every time. My wife also has claimed multiple times that she has saw me at home, either in front or backyard, at hours that I would be at work or busy. I had a priest come and bless the house per my father's request, but it didn't help. The final straw was when we had a niece over for a sleepover with my youngest. She and my daughter claimed that the blanket was pulled off of them and they couldn't open the door until my wife and I came downstairs to open the door. Months earlier, I had put the house up for sale and had already gotten multiple offers, which was my original plan. My oldest daughter says that driving away from the house, when we finally moved out, she saw a figure in the top window turned around back to her. I have no idea what that was, but I pray that it doesn't follow us. I may post updates if wanted. Now, with the house sold and the family gone, U/tradition downtown 330 can only hope its presence stays behind, yet the image of a figure watching from the upstairs window still burns in their daughter's mind, a last glimpse of something they were never meant to see. Was it a restless memory, a warning, or something that never wanted them to leave at all? Some homes welcome you back, others don't let go so easily. That concludes episode 20, campers. Milestones mean nothing to the dark. It stretches on, endless and indifferent, watching as we mark the numbers, until the fire calls us back. Keep your guard sharp and your silence steady. The night is listening, and it does not forget.
As the night gets longer and the darkness creeps in, with the eerie silence broken only by whispering wind, come gather round the fire, the flickering flames, and hear the tales of the spooky and the strange. Chill up your back, a shiver up your spine. You'll be haunted by the things that you find. Legends will unfold and stories will be told at the Scaredy Campfire, for only the bold